Hey guys, let me quickly introduce. First of all, welcome to the first jamming session from JediSwap in the Starknet Winter Hackathon. I hope all of you are having fun. So I'm going to give a quick overview of JediSwap. I'll maybe just quickly share like which repos might be important. I'll share about the tracks as well, like which of the ideas we are excited about or like we definitely want teams to work on. But feel free to be creative. There are like no limits to ideas. You can come up with something we haven't thought about as well. So like feel free to ping us at any point of time. We have created a Telegram group as well, specifically for to help people like who are building anything in the context of JediSwap. So I'll share the link at the end of this session. So quick introduction about JediSwap. So JediSwap is a decentralized exchange on Starknet. We have been building on Starknet since almost like 2 years, more than 2 years now, almost 3 years now. We started interacting with Starknet for the first time around March 2021. And we started building JediSwap specifically around October 2021. And with like after building for about a year, we launched JediSwap on December 2022. So it's almost been like 1 year and like a couple of months, few months. And in this period of time, JediSwap became the biggest DApp on Starknet in terms of user activity. So we have been used by more than 1.5 million user accounts. JediSwap has almost $10 million in TVL. We have done almost about $500 million in trading volume. And like JediSwap has probably the biggest community, one of the biggest community in Starknet ecosystem. We have 100K people on our Discord, more than 170K people on our Twitter. So the best part, like we have achieved all of this without any employees. So there are no employees in JediSwap. Instead, JediSwap is 100% led by the community. We have more than 30 core contributors. Core contributors are like in terms of work impact, they create the similar level of work impact as any full-time employees. And we have more than 500 passive contributors. Passive contributors are people like who come and go, who spend maybe like an hour or a few hours a week instead of like maybe 20 hours a week on JediSwap. Uh, and like when you think about passive contributors, it's pretty much equivalent to 1/5 of a full-time employee. So like that's also a good reference point. And like if we count even minimum level of contribution, we have probably like even more than 5,000 contributors who added some value to JediSwap, which we measure. So we measure contributions from all of the contribution done by anyone, and we reward for these contribution in fair and transparent way. So how we do that is like we currently just measure based on a rule book, which is transparent, which is public, which itself is created with the help of the community, with in the consensus of different guilds. So we have a point system for developers. We have a different point system for design, different point system for community management. As a result, like anything you do in during this hackathon, if that helps JediSwap in any meaningful way in terms of like real users, not only like all those ideas will be considered for the bounty track, but we will also reward points for any kind of such contribution. So let me walk through some of the ideas that we are excited about or we have thought about that could help a lot of value to JediSwap ecosystem, to JediSwap users. So the first is routing. So as JediSwap is an AMM, so it's what happens is like liquidity providers add liquidity to different pools. So liquidity sits between like different kind of pools. A pool can be ETH USDC, a pool can be USDC USDT. Also, like each pool's also like uniquely identified by the fee tier. So ETH USDC and 1 basis point fee, or ETH USDC 5 basis point fee. So like 3 parameters construct a pool: token A, token B, and the fee tier. So as a result, there can be multiple pools for a token pair. For each USDC, there can be 4 types of pools or even higher. So first, like whenever somebody is making a swap between ETH and USDC, we need to figure out what is the best path they can go forward. So the path might not happen just from like ETH USDC pools. It can also go to different pools from different token pairs as well. For an example, you might convert your ETH first to USDT and then use USDT USDC pool to convert it into USDC. So like now it touches 2 different tokens as well while finding the optimum path. So the first problem statement is like finding the best route to enable like any swappers to complete a swap. And in this route, we want to find the route among all the token pairs or all the token pools of JediSwap v3 plus JediSwap v1. So JediSwap v1 is the Uni v2 style AMM, and JediSwap v2 is the concentrated liquidity AMM. So sometimes like you might find a trade which is better, which is giving better output using the JediSwap v1 pool, especially like for smaller tokens like meme coins and stuff. So we want to like create something which gives best route considering like all the JediSwap version. It could be like when a user gives exact input, like I want to trade 1 ETH, and for this I at least want this minimum level of output. So that's like one kind of input. Similarly, like a user can say, I want to get exactly 1 ETH, and for that, this is the max ETH. This is the max USDC I'm ready to pay. So that's the input. When we go towards the maximum route, the constraints you have to think about is like maximum hops. So as you increase the number of hops, first of all, it will increase to the latency because there will be more computation. Like if you create 100 different transactions for one route, it will take much more computation power. It will take you longer to identify that, and it will also be much more costly when you go forward with the path. So these are the 2 things I'll keep in mind when I'll try to find a maximum route. Maximum number of hops, it is like one pool to second pool to third pool. That's like three hops. And these are the resources, like Uniswap has some of the documentation in routing, like you can read about that. JediSwap v2 has pretty much the same stack as Uniswap v3. It's pretty much same ABIs. Our code is also open source. I'll give the link up at the end as well. But these are the 2 links you can read if that is the problem you are excited about. The second track that we want to push on is experimenting with different designs for incentive distribution. So first of all, like why this problem? So this is important for both JediSwap, but anyone who also launch a token on JediSwap. So first, in terms of JediSwap, like at some point of time, we want to reward people retroactively, whoever is using JediSwap. So we want to experiment with different models, how best we can reward people in a fair and like transparent way, and in a retroactive fashion, or like even continuous fashion. Second, like on any AMM, a lot of teams like launch their token. When they launch their token, on an AMM. They add liquidity to an AMM. So these projects also want to incentivize users to add liquidity to pools of their token. So those are the two kind of users. Like one is JediSwap itself, and second is any project that is launching a token on JediSwap. So uh, like the objective is to enable incentive designs which enables or which drive sticky liquidity, but at the same time productive liquidity. What productive or active liquidity means, especially in the context of concentrated liquidity, you can add liquidity outside of the range of the current price. So if current price for ETH is $2,000, and if you have put your liquidity into $3,000 to $4,000 price range, then that liquidity is not used. It's not serving the traders because traders will be using the liquidity which is in range. So like we want to create models which drive liquidity which is active, which users are able to use when they are trading. And at the same time, we want to drive sticky liquidity. So we want to incentivize people who are loyal, who keep their liquidity for a longer period of time. So now designing incentives for concentrated liquidity, it's not simple because like whenever you add a position, you get an NFT, and like a position is constrained by the price range itself. So when you add a position, you define, let's say if you are adding position for ETH USDC, so you will say, okay, like I want to keep my liquidity from $1,000 to $2,000 price range. So now, if the market changes, like to keep your liquidity productive, you need to keep changing your price range. As you change your price range, you change the liquidity position. So as a result, like normal staking kind of contract kind of limits this kind of flexibility. So there has been like one effort from Uniswap V3, for an example. They have a vesting, they have a staking contract. They had a staking contract called V3 Staker. Uh, in V3 Staker, you lock your LP position, but then like when you lock your LP position, you are also locking the price range, which is counterproductive for active liquidity, especially for active market makers who wants to continuously change their position based on the market condition once price moves. So that's one constraint to keep in mind. The second constraint is like it's not easy to measure like how much value one position has added, especially on the contract side, because it will be very computationally expensive. So as a result, like there are different trade-offs if we build an incentive mechanism which is continuous, where incentives are kind of permissionless. It's directly going through the contract versus like if you have an off-chain system, then that might give you much more flexibility. So there has been like two types of efforts into this direction. One has been by Revert Finance. So Revert Finance modified the V3 stacker of Uniswap to kind of compensate for some of the faults of the default V3 staker. So the default V3 staker, like they try to align reward distribution based on the fee accumulated. And what happened in that case is people came with very tight, narrow range, accumulated all the fees, as a result, accumulated all the rewards as well. And then that concentrated all the rewards going to very few addresses. So like it didn't account for stickiness of the liquidity or loyalty of the liquidity. So this Reward Finance kind of added this time vested V3 staker, in which they also counted for how much time the liquidity was into the pool, and like based on that, the rewards that they were getting, that was vested. So now that disincentivized the people who are just providing tight range liquidity, because they go out of position very, very frequently. If you provide it in like, let's say 1 BIP kind of a difference, or 1% kind of a price range difference. So these are the two resources like you can look at if you want to look at continuous incentive mechanisms. In case of off-chain computation-based mechanism, like how it works, how it can work is based on Merkle root. So you compute off-chain based on some formulas, like you can take into account how much fees a position has generated, or how much liquidity was in token A, how much liquidity was in token B. You can consider even the price range as well, like maybe you want to incentivize a specific price range. So one example of that is done by Angel Money. This is the link to look at, like to learn more about that. But like, what if you do off chain, then you have flexibility. You can calculate everything off chain, and then ultimately come to the result that this wallet address has these many points versus second wallet address. So you have a relative standing of all the wallet address, and you can put it as a Merkle root to the smart contract, and then everyone can claim their token. So the thing is, like, this is not continuous because it has to be periodic. You compute like maybe once a day or twice a day or thrice a day, like at some frequency. You put Merkle root at some frequency, and it becomes epoch wise. So like people are able to claim rewards only when you push these Merkle roots on chain. There are like these other two resources at the bottom. So like we have written a document on uh, incentive design, like in which we have just put our thoughts. So you can look at that document, and then there's a link of Gauntlet research as well. So you can also look at that. The third track that we are excited about is tools that makes life easier for liquidity providers. So tools that basically helps active liquidity providers create positions, manage their concentrated liquidity positions. Some of the example of this could be like setting up range orders, like where you are always adding liquidity only into a particular range. It could be like rebalancing, automated rebalancing. So this is done by protocols like Gamma Swap or Arrakis, DeFi. So one problem with concentrated liquidity is like it becomes difficult for passive liquidity providers to add liquidity because you have to continuously manage it. So in these auto rebalancing vaults, it's like it's managed by uh, either a vault manager, or like there can be like some automated rules where, for an example, one kind of automated rebalancing could be you fetch price from an oracle and you rebalance liquidity every 50 blocks in plus minus 5% range from that oracle price. Like that could be one kind of a strategy, for an example. So now this makes it easy for the passive LPs, like then they have similar level of experience as just adding liquidity into a Uniswap V2 kind of a pool. A lot of such protocols like grew a lot as well in the EVM ecosystem. We want similar platforms to happen on Starknet. Similarly, like there can be auto compounding fees. So in concentrated liquidity kind of AMM, the fees get accumulated differently. You have to claim fees. It doesn't automatically goes back to the pool. So like somebody can create vaults which auto compounds these fees based on some frequency. Similarly, like one tool that could be very helpful for liquidity providers are backtesting tools where they can like see results. If they would have created this kind of strategy, what would have been like the performance on the past data. And similarly, like another kind of thing could be copy trading or copy positions kind of tooling, where I follow some professional liquidity providers and I just copy the position they are maintaining. And basically, this also could be one of the ideas. So there are two resources, like Arrakis is one of the vault managers, ALMs, automated liquidity managers, that you can look at. Aperture Finance has created some of the tools to manage and create positions. Revert Finance also created like some of these tools. So these are the three resources to look at. So yeah, these were the ideas from our side. If you have any other idea, feel free to like ping us. This is the Telegram link. Just scan it, and you will join a Telegram group where we have some folks from the dev side, some folks from the business development side. All of us are technical, so we'll be able to help you with whatever you want. Thanks. Any question from anyone? And before we go, I actually like let me quickly show the GitHub links as well. So this is the first repo. Again, I'll share all of these links into the Telegram chat as well. But let me share it into the Zoom chat as well. So this is like all of our code is open source. So this is the one repo in this. All the code is into this branch called initial POC. Oh, wait, I think I am not sharing the right screen. Just give me a second. Yeah, I'm just resharing my screen again. Yeah, so this is the repo. In this repo, like you won't find the code in the main branch. Instead, like look at the initial POC. It has README as well, so feel free to look at it. All of this code base is in Cairo 1, which is pretty similar to like Rust in a way. But anyways, like if you come up with any technical questions, like feel free to drop us a message in the Telegram group link. And let me share the Telegram link as well in the chat. This is the Telegram link. Other than this repo, there is one repo called Periphery. So this is the second repo you can look at. So the core repo has all the core smart contracts. The Periphery repo interact with the core smart contracts, and it makes it easier to like interact with the main repo. So again, this is a Cairo fork of Uniswap v3. So like if you worked with Uniswap v3 or have looked around that, it should be pretty similar. Like it has all the setting, all the setup requirements and all of that. Other than that, if you want to look at any of the front end repos, so then we have one repo for indexer as well. Like if you need anything for indexing, we have one repo for interface. This is for the front end JediSwap v2 interface. So all the repos regarding JediSwap v2 that will have the tag v2. Anything which does not have v2, that is for JediSwap v1. Yeah, this is it from my side. Any question from anyone?
Can I speak?
Yeah,
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I was asking in the Discord because I have found full way of creating interchange liquid pools.
Mhm.
And so I was asking if you are interested in that kind of liquid pools.
What do you mean by liquid pools? Do you mean that people add liquidity to a pool and you issue a token which is fungible? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that it's a protocol. It's a messaging protocol. It's not really a bridge. It's a messaging protocol, but it's got a lot of liquidity, and it allows. It works on Starknet. So I was interested in creating a testnet liquidity pool on that protocol to test interchain liquidity. I know that they already work with Balancer and with KyberSwap on Ethereum. and also on all the other level 2 blockchains that they are on. So
Is
I
there a
was
link?
one.
Is there
Sorry?
a link? Is there a link or a reference somewhere I can check?
Yeah, it's Axelar. The protocol is Axelar.
XLR.
Um,
XLR is the bridging protocol, right?
yeah, I
So
think
I,
the
I
link
did not.
it's like it's this one, Axelar.network, and they have a specific API for swap for DEXs, okay? And basically, Balancer has implemented the DEX, this protocol, which is called Squid.
Mhm.
They have implemented it, they have developed some new liquid pools on that, and they had some liquidity injected because of that through the Squid protocol. And
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah, I did not fully understood it. Sorry about that. So, like, what you are trying to say is like, so where does JediSwap comes into the picture? Does that cross-chain bridge uses JediSwap pools to like to enable swap on Starknet to enable like cross-chain swap with Starknet? Is that what you are trying to say?
No, what I'm trying to say is, can I develop some testnet liquidity pools, interchain testnet liquidity pools, in order for JediSwap to interact on many blockchains through the Alexar messaging system? Because I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
they
for
have a
sure.
lot of liquidities.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So, but in this case, so let's say what you will be building is you will be just deploying a liquidity pool. You can deploy a testnet liquidity pool, first of all, if that is your question.
Yeah,
And then like, does XLR support Starknet already? Like, are they
yes,
integrated?
it does.
Okay. 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 Yeah. I think that will be good.
That yeah, it's a perspective that allows JediSwap to widen the range of liquidity providers a lot. Okay, because
Yeah. So
Axelar supports like 50 chains, as far as I know. So
yeah, so if I understand the value proposition correctly in this case, it's like tapping into JediSwap liquidity to enable cross-chain breezing from Starknet to like any other chain.
yeah, exactly. In the liquidity pools. I mean, directly into the liquidity pools. Kyberswap as farming as liquidity pools that earn a lot of money because of that, and
I think
contract.
it will be good if you can ping in the Telegram group once. Uh, I just need to understand the value prop here. Like I feel there might be some confusion. Like if I think about a cross-chain bridging, it feels like the way a cross-chain bridge will interact with JediSwap contract will be either to use
Yeah,
it will be for swapping, right?
it's not really a bridge. Okay, it's a messaging system. Okay, what I can, I mean, to view the value point for JediSwap, you can have a look at the. Let me check because I had a link for Balancer, in which Balancer people were speaking on Medium, writing about this.
Okay. While
Uh,
you find your link,
yeah.
anyone have any question meanwhile? Cool. By the way, did you join the Telegram group, Jilt?
No, I am on Discord.
You
I
are
just
on
have,
JediSwap Discord?
yeah, no, on the On the hackathon Discord, yeah, I saw
Okay.
that you didn't answer to the channel. Maybe you did. Okay, yes, it says jamming session. I don't know. I can join the because I have a lot of Telegram. You know, I would prefer just to use Discord for this kind of things. But yeah, let me join your Telegram.
Yeah.
I just need some time to. This is the article, just to be sure, and let me join the Telegram now. Okay. With the QR code, yes, perfect. Okay. JediSwap. Okay. Here we go. I'm in.
Yeah. Just share the link and I'll open it.
Okay. Um. The link is the one I just shared here in the chat. um,
Okay. The medium one.
yeah, the medium, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this is actually by Squid. The one that I have been reading the last time was by Balancer, on the Balancer. Uh, but yes, it's basically Elixir. Okay. Okay, it's on the forum of Balancer. Okay. It's not in their medium. They don't have a blog, or maybe they not. Yeah, they did it last September.
Okay. So it looks like so this one is particularly for bridging the balancer token itself across different chains using the XLR bridge.
Yeah.
So like when you say you will deploy, like how will you, so will you use the similar kind of thing? Which token will you use here? Like any token or some particular token? Let's say instead of Arbitrum, you write Starknet in this screen.
Yeah. For
Any
example,
token, right?
yes. Yeah.
Any token.
They are, if any token, I would say that at this point I would use Starknet token, but
Okay, so
yeah,
like bridging of Stark token from Starknet to any of the chain, like that's the use case you are describing.
yes,
Okay,
something like
and
that. Create a
okay,
liquidity pool, yes.
okay. So now
Using
in this case, what you will ultimately be doing is to, like, for the bridge itself, JediSwap will not be usable anywhere because JediSwap is a AMM. So JediSwap is usable only in the context of if you want to swap an asset within Starknet to another asset. So let's say you wanted to uh, swap USDC on Starknet to Stark on base. Let's say that was the use case. Then in that case, how JediSwap could be helpful is first you swap your USDC on Starknet to Stark on Starknet, and then you use the XLR bridge to send it to the base protocol. Like in this whole case, it doesn't interact with the balancer protocol itself. Like that interaction happen within like the same chain.
Okay.
You get it?
Yes. So you say the liquidity pool is not really bridged, a bridge.
Yeah. Yeah,
No.
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Gotcha. And are you not interested in you
I mean,
wanna
like you can create that, but I still do not understand. Like, so this is just one part of it. Like, then it's like you are just using the swap mechanism somewhere, like before you use the XLR bridge. I'm just saying, like it's just separate problem statement.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you say it's just separate. It's not okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um, I mean, there are some use cases, but I guess it's not what you were looking for in this.
Yeah, there are use cases for users, but it is not creating anything for JediSwap.
Yeah.
The only point where it touches JediSwap is when you are swapping an asset to another asset within Starknet. So
Okay.
yeah, like how it could be helpful is like, for an example, if you enable, so like what is this bridge? This is on XLR website, or where is this? This is screen.
I think that one is a balancer, but it could be
But
wrong.
like where is this screen coming from?
From balancer,
From
I
balancer?
think.
Okay, let me just open balancer once. Where do I go to check this?
Um, um, I think because they
Yeah,
have
so
a lot.
I think we can take it offline. If you can share the link where this screen is coming from, I can explain you what is happening.
Okay, no, but I have understood. So they basically have created a bridge that allows the tokens to go on the other
Yeah,
chains, but
yeah. That bridge has nothing to do with any application. Like the bridge works separately.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Okay. Cool. I think we are also our time. If anyone have any question, like feel free to ping us on the Telegram. That's the best way to like help, because there are more people there, especially on the technical side. But otherwise, feel free to use any medium. I'm on Twitter as well. I'll try to check out the Discord as actively as possible as well. Thanks everyone.